This week's game news has a lot of discussion about remakes and things like StarCraft HD, potentially, if you like Brood War and the old game of StarCraft before 2 came out, Master of Orion, talking about AM2R and Pokemon Uranium. Before getting to that coverage, this is brought to you by iBayPower and their new Element PC, which has the large tempered glass side panel window that you're looking at now. The first item in game news for the week is Master of Orion. This is a game we covered at PAX East earlier this year. Wargaming.net announced the release date and price of the 4X franchise's relaunch following an extended early access time, with the company targeting a $30 launch price on August 25th this year. We've previously talked about some of the new features to the Master of Orion series, with this release including espionage, economic victories, and other items we've detailed in our PAX coverage. And then we also have talked about the game's all-star voice cast, which, if you haven't heard, by the way, is pretty impressive. It includes Mark Hamill, recently also known to be working on Star Citizen, Alan Tudyk, known for Firefly, and John Delancey, Star Trek, of course, Michael Dorn, Star Trek, and Nolan North, who seems to be in every video game on the planet. Our next bit of news moves us to the fan remakes of AM2R first, which is another Metroid 2 remake that got traction for the launch of the Metroid 2 remake for the PC and was designed to bring the game to PC without use of an emulator and to update the graphics to look and feel more like a modern Metroid indie type title. As it might be expected, the remake hadn't been online long before all the hosts for the downloads and AM2R proper received DMCA notices from Nintendo. Most of AM2R's site is still available, sans the download and media pages, and a new blog post discussed Nintendo's actions. So far, AM2R has not received an official cease and desist order, and the creator is still planning on updating the game and fixing some of the bugs that players have reported, but whether or not those will be publishable is yet to be seen. In other fan-made game news, Pokemon Uranium has finally released, and the title features a brand new region and over 150 completely custom-made Pokemon. Like the official Nintendo titles, this game has 8 gyms in a new region called Tandor, and the game was made with RPG Maker XP. It uses entirely custom Pokemon in an attempt to bypass the same issue that AM2R faced with CNDs and things like that, though it's still using the Pokemon name, so we'll see how that works out. And there are rumors of yet another update on an old title. This time, however, it's supposedly being made by the original publishers. According to Korean news outlet iNews24, Blizzard is going to reveal StarCraft HD this year, either at BlizzCon in November or at the StarCraft 2 World Championship in September. According to iNews24, the source of this rumor is someone with, quote, knowledge of Blizzard's internal plans. Really no way to validate that. And again, according to that rumor, the gameplay will be the same, but with updated graphics and a better UI, similar to pretty much every other HD remake we've seen recently, including those for Age of Empires and Age of Mythology, and anything else you can think of in that genre. The last bit of game news today comes from NVIDIA. The company announced that they plan to leverage their resources to support indie game developers with their Indie Spotlight. NVIDIA is going to begin packing indie game developers with their hardware the same way they do with AAA games and have done for years now. In addition to this, they're including indie titles on an NVIDIA Now game streaming service, which is available on the Shield and maybe elsewhere in the future, and the titles will be supported on social media. The implementation of this plan by a major company in the gaming space shows another sign of how indie games have grown in recent years, and we also saw this with Cooler Master at PAX at least maybe a year ago, where they were showcasing a bunch of indie games in their booth. So there's definitely some real hardware support for the indie development community now, and it's a good time just looking at the current titles out there. Stardew Valley as one example of a successful title. So that's all for this game news recap. Patreon link, the postal video to help us out directly. Links to the description below for more information. Subscribe as always, and I'll see you all next time.